This is the Kitchen Sink WP Podcast, episode 279.
I program my own computer.
We have a server crash, 404 error, page not found, links aren't working, system is crashing, system is crashing, system is crashing.
Your old HTML website, barely alive. We have the technology. We have WordPress. A new website, better than it was before. Better, stronger, faster. We have the technology. The technology.
Why, hello everybody, this is Adam Silver, the host of the Kitchen Sink WP Podcast. Thanks for being here. Let's get started. All right, upcoming events. We have two of them next week. WordCamp Davao in the Philippines, July 6th. It is the first time they are ever having that camp. They are very excited. Per the website, it said first time ever. So I'm just sharing that with you as well. Also, not next weekend, but July 8th and 9th, which will be a week from when this show releases, Monday, July 8th and 9th, Post Status Publish event. If you remember a Post Status, actually, so it's free during the free stream, like during the days of, so on Monday and Tuesday, it'll be completely free on the stream. If you want to watch it after the fact, you need to be a member of the Post Status membership group, which I actually am a member, and I get to take more advantage of that. So check that out over, I'll put a link in the show notes as well. And lastly, if you're in the North Carolina, Raleigh area, we got a meetup, first time since WordCamp Raleigh, also on the 8th, the Monday. I'll be hosting a meetup, trying to get that back on track here. So give you guys plenty of time if you're in the area. By all means, check out meetup.com and look for the Raleigh Triangle Meetup. So, okay, moving on, segment one, in the news. A couple things to talk about here. WP Engine acquired Flywheel, which was a big news and kind of came out of nowhere apparently. I think it happened on Monday or Tuesday last week. So it's kind of cool and kind of exciting for everybody involved there. And we'll talk more about company acquisitions a little bit later. Also, I want to share some information. There was a tweet that went out. I'll put a link in the show notes about the average salary by language by Justin Jackson. And it's pretty interesting. It's a graphic. It's an infographic. And let me just bring it up here for a second to kind of give you a heads up of what it is. So average salary premium by popular programming skills. And for example, if you're looking to learn Java, you can, after 1 year, $102,000, 6 years later, $147,000, PHP, $84,000, 0 to 1 years, 6 years, $133,000 a year, etc. Pretty cool infographic. Link in the show notes there as well. Or you can just kind of look for the Twitter status by MI Justin. That's his Twitter handle. Yeah, Justin Jackson. It's at MI Justin, Justin. I don't know him. I follow him. Do I follow him? I do now. Yes, I do. So, and he doesn't follow me. He doesn't know who I am. Anyway, kind of cool. Check it out. He's up. He's based in Canada. Okay. Also, Gutenberg 6 got released. What's new in Gutenberg 6? Well, as of June 26th, and after WordCamp Europe in Berlin, they're back to business, releasing bug fixes and improvements. Widget screen's been polished. The group block has been improved by accessibility and remains an important focus. So that's the new thing with Gutenberg, because it's still its own thing besides being the new editor in WordPress 5. Also, Adobe, I found out, is discontinuing, or it has discontinued Muse, M-U-S-E, their platform for web development. And I found out about this just last week because a friend of mine reached out and said, hey, I'm looking for some help and direction of which way to go since Muse is no longer being ongoing, no more being supported. So that was interesting as well. So they have gotten out of that industry. So WordPress to the rescue, I told him, and I gave him a whole bunch of references and referrals and resources really to build up his new site. So, and lastly, on the news here, backupspeaker.com update. Month one has gone well. We launched the second page with the early bird information, a little video on there. Did get some sales, pre-sales, which is great. And I'm going to share every 3 months or so the struggles and successes, I suppose, on that build out, kind of showing what's going on and building a membership-based site or service in that way per request as well. So got some sales. We're building it starting July 1st, which is the day this episode comes out. Working on that, and the blog is next, and then, et cetera, et cetera. If you want access to that, by the way, go to backupspeaker.com, and in the bottom, you can skip the email list and join in right now for a discount. Until we go live, that'll be up. Okay. Moving on now to segment 2, selling your company. So should you sell? Why should you sell? How? Because we were talking recently just about the acquisition of Flywheel by WP Engine. So a few weeks back, I did talk about starting with the end in mind. and that was from the perspective of projects, personal projects and client projects, knowing what you want the end result to be. And then with the news right now, like I said, of WP Engine Acquiring Flywheel, it led to some conversations I had with friends and colleagues if they would ever sell or want to be acquired. And it got me thinking, what motivates people to sell and what would be the steps to do so? For example, like, would I ever sell Concierge WP? Maybe. If you have an offer in mind, sure. Who knows? But I'll leave that door wide open for now. So here are some things to think about. Motivation, like the why. Why would you want to sell? So I'm going to start with the timing, aka a life change, perhaps a divorce. Maybe you have kids going to college. Maybe you're just burned out or bored with what you were providing and you're looking for your next thing. And I've talked about getting past that burnout back in episode 271, and this may be the option. If you're truly burned out, where it's causing stress and a struggle for your mental health, it might be at a time, it might be the why that you need to sell or move on from your own company. If your passion has diminished from the service you're providing, also is the right thing to do as well, because honestly, nobody wants to work with people who don't have, a spark about what they provide and what they do. Otherwise, it's just that ho-humness of having a job. Okay, so that's the motivation. What's the why? Know that if it's time for you to maybe sell with that in mind. Okay, the how. So here, first, before I give you the how, full disclosure, I'm not an attorney or a financial advisor. So when it comes to those two aspects of your business life, seek professional help. But what I did find in research for you is this. First and foremost, you need to determine what's the business worth. Now, a business is generally worth a multiple of its profits. Depending on the size of the deal, it can be 2 to 10 times profit. Smaller deals average 2 to 3 times. Medium deals, 3 to 5. And what I've noticed and read about and done some research in our WordPress space is, especially if it's reoccurring type of income, it's like a 1.5 to 2x. So if you're making $1,000 a month consistently based on providing maintenance, 1.5 times that, then times 12. That's your annual. So that's the basic first part, is what is it worth? What is your company worth? Okay. And then right after that, once you kind of figure that out, prepare your financials with your accountant, because that is going to be vitally important to be able to prove this sustainable over the past 1, 3, 5, 10 years, depending on how old your company is. So, find out what it's worth, talk to your accountant, prepare financials so that you can show it to people. Because once you're ready to do that, then you want to tell people in your industry. Pretty basic concept here. And there are also plenty of websites and services and companies and brokers that will help you find a buyer. Brokers may take a percentage to connect the dots, as to be expected, because they're providing that service there. But it shouldn't be too difficult if you've been doing what you're doing in your industry, whether it be WordPress or design or development or whatever it may be. It could be any industry really, for that matter, to find the right people that can help spread the word that you're looking to sell. And maybe you go low key. You kind of put the word out slowly but surely, but maybe on the low key. If you have connections on bigger companies than yourself, like other agencies, for example, let's say it's me and I was looking to sell Concierge. I might reach out to another company larger than mine that is not going anywhere that I know of, and say, hey, do you want to acquire my business, without me? And just start that conversation. They may want it, they may not, but it can't hurt. And usually that's built upon relationships and trust. Okay. So that's how you kind of do that part. Lastly, a few notes on mistakes people have made. From the research I found, from the things I read about. So one of the main mistakes people make is asking too much or too little for your own business. So setting a very high, unrealistic price tag on your business can lead to going nowhere fast, really. Expecting to get the top dollar that generates no profit just because it's an idea that you have passion behind, or you had passion behind, you think the brand has value, you may not be all that legitimately correct that time. So it's a bad business sense. And also, undervaluing your business is also not the best. You want to kind of find a happy medium there. Not easy, but it takes that touch. And that's why having a broker or somebody helping you guide you can help. They may know better than you. Okay, they get that third perspective that you may not have, or the second perspective, I guess. So, and then the other thing that a mistake people make, and I read about, and I kind of agree with, and I've seen this happen, selling to the wrong person or company. Taking the first offer sounds great. Like, oh, great, I found an offer, and I'm going to move on, and I'm just going to sell it. But this may not be the best offer. You may get better offers. Even lower money might be a better offer, because that company that's acquiring your client base and your reputation, they're as good, if not better. They're going to step up to the plate, and they will provide the same level of support for your past clients. So just because you have a money grab opportunity may not be the best situation. So don't sell to the wrong person or company just for money's sake. In my opinion, I'm just not, that driven just for that. I want it to be a really good fit for everyone involved because it's about relationships, and I think it goes a long way. So there you have it. So have you sold any of your companies? Anyone here want to talk to me about that? Let me know. I'd love to talk to you about it. I haven't sold any of my companies. I've closed a few, and I've referred a ton of business out. So, but concierge, maybe. Who knows? If you're interested, let me know. Anyway, okay, moving on. Segment 3, tip and tool of the week. This week, I want to talk about a tool. It's actually, I got this recommended by Steven from ServerPress, Visual Studio from Microsoft. It's an editor that now has a Mac and a PC version. It gives you developer tools for doing development, code, whatnot. So pretty cool. It's free. And apparently Steven over at ServerPress is using it. I have no connection to, Microsoft, obviously. But it looks pretty strong, pretty cool if you're in development. So check that out over at, I'll link in the show notes, but it's visualstudio.microsoft.com. So, okay. I'm going to wrap it up there. If you have any questions, go ahead and send it in. Adam at KitchensinkWP.com, or use the SpeakPipe function. If you want to support the show, become a Patreon. You want to sponsor the show, form on the website. Thanks so much for listening. We'll see you next week. Now go out and do some awesome things with WordPress. All right? Bye-bye. This is the Kitchen Sink.